Welcome to everyone who's gathered for a story time this day. This is Pastor Laura Cavendish, and I serve at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Asheville, Ohio. I hope that if you are a young person, you're enjoying the start to school. If you're younger and headed off to preschool, I pray that that's been going well for you too. Today we have a story about a young artist, and I like his story because it reminds me of the artistry that God has created in every one of you out there. So let's get to the story. Here's our book, Grandma in Blue with Red Hat. This book is written by Scott Menchin, and the pictures are by Harry Bliss. And there's our opening illustration of Grandma in Blue with Red Hat. There is a little guy, pictures of his kitty, drawing. Saturday is the best day because that's the day I go to art class at the museum. I've been coming here forever. There he's getting dropped off. Have a great day. See you at home, Grandma. Ms. Montebello is the art teacher, and she knows everything about art. Did you know that anything can be in an art exhibition? Toys, hair clips, guitars, water bottles, anything. Here's some samples. There's people looking at that. It's brilliant and beautifully crafted. So he's thinking, oh, toilets must be in the art show. Okay, here we go. Miss Montebello calls us her little Picassos. Picasso was a famous artist, and he liked to paint in his underwear. And then there's Pablo, put some clothes on. The Guggenheims are on their way over. I wonder if underwear could be in an art exhibition. Miss, no photos. It's an interesting question. Can any of you little Picassos tell me where you think this is in the museum? Why you think this is in the museum? That's the question Ms. Montebello always asks us when we look at art. Alice says, because it's beautiful. Sasha says, because it's different. Henry says, because it tells a story. Thomas says, because it came from somewhere far away. Jack says, because it makes me feel good. Says, because it's funny. Karina says, because there's only one like it in the whole world. Mrs. Montebello says there are no wrong answers when it comes to art, and she explains that most of the artwork was given to the museum. Maybe someday I could give some artwork to the museum. That's the thought in his head. Grandma is waiting for me at home. What did you do in class today? She says. I tell her, and then I realize that there's only one of her in the entire world. Grandma is beautiful. Grandma is different. Grandma is funny. Grandma tells me stories. Grandma comes from far away. Grandma makes me feel good. I should give Grandma to the museum. What a thought. The next week, I tell Ms. Montebello about my idea. And she tells me I should ask the curator of the museum. So there's his idea. Put Grandma on display. And he says, your grandma sounds like an exceptional grandma, but as much as I would love to accept your gift, we do have a rule at the museum. We do not take grandmas. And that's when I have a great idea. There he is working on his art. Mom and Dad and Grandma help me get ready for the big day. Art opening. A little to the right, no, too much, just tilted a teensy bit to the left. So they're hanging pictures. My friends are there, Grandma's friends are there, Mom and Dad's friends are there, and Mrs. Montebello and the curator are there. Welcome to my exhibition, everyone. And there are all the things he worked on. All the ways he's thought about seeing his grandma. And then the curator, I think that's the curator, goes, these cupcakes are delicious. Because when we look at art shows, sometimes there's food. This one is beautiful. This one tells a story. This one's different. This one makes me feel good. This one's funny. I especially like this one. What do you call it? And he says, Grandma in blue with red hat. And there it is. And there he is with Grandma. What a wonderful exhibition. It's one of a kind. Just like Grandma. And that is the end of this book. There are all those pictures of him back there. And again, thanks to the Pickaway County Library System for letting me borrow this book. Hi, here I am down on the floor. This is where I do my videotaping for the book. And I'm just going to continue on. I want all of us who are tuning in here to know that God sees us and all the different sides of us and loves those, because we are those pieces of art that God has created. One of my favorite passages is from Psalm 139, and I'm going to read for you from verse 13. And the psalmist says this, "For it was you, God, who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works that I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance, and in your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them as yet existed." So many images in that psalm of how God has made us one of a kind, and how when we were in process, when we were the art on the page, we were in God's heart and in God's mind. So each one of you who's listening today, you have a special place in this world and in this time. And I want you to be all of that as you follow Jesus. Bye for now.